And my apologies, we are running slightly late. We are waiting for Mr. Jesh, and Ms. Mary is on her way. So I think we should be able to start in next 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So I will give you all, and we'll start in a few minutes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll start our session now. Again, I would like to welcome you all, and I thank you profoundly for taking your time from busy schedule and being here to a very interesting and I think very apt topic we will discuss today, and that is leadership. What skills, attitude and behavior do you require to be a leader? Not just a leader in your organization, but an accountable and ethical leader to bring a change in our society. We have very good speakers. I think we'll learn a lot from them. We will brainstorm and we will also network. Let me first of all introduce you SARS Touching Hearts Foundation. I met Sarah a few weeks ago, and what really impressed me about this organization is the founders of this not-for-profit organization. Now, SARS, I think, is doing wonderful. They want to bring a change by knowledge enhancement. They want to train people, they want to groom people, they want to help people to develop and be accountable in a particular area. They want to do something which is measurable. The kind of work they have done, the research they have done is just amazing. Before I start the session, I would like to invite the main people here on the stage, and we'll start the session. I'll introduce them one by one, but let me first of all invite the founder and chairperson of SARS. She's a lawyer. She has done her chartered accountancy. She's company secretary, highly educated lady, a well-known high court lawyer, but she thinks, I think from her heart, she wants to do a lot of work for the society. Please give a round of applause to Ms. Sarah Khan. I request her to please come on the stage. The managing director of SARS is an entrepreneur. She is originally from Mumbai. She came from a family of entrepreneurs. They were one of the top printing company in Mumbai. They are into art and so many things. However, Zahabia is again a lady. I think we should watch out for her. She's doing wonderful work, and I'm sure she'll go places. May I request her to please come on the stage. You can give her a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event is start reminding everybody. I think it doesn't happen nowhere. But the Dean of Shahjahan was one of the first person in, and I think we should give him a round of applause. I'll do that. No problem. It's just amazing. Like we have with us a Provenian professor, academic, trainer, who goes all over the world to train, and he has just I know this lady for a very long time. I think I know her for at least 5 years. And she's just amazing, you know. The CEO of Pratham, Ms. Moshmi, to please come and take a seat. She is the founder and also the vice president. She just came yesterday night, 4 o'clock. And then she's ready in 4 hours. I'm so delighted and so honored to have her here. A lady with incredible leadership skills, great attitude, and always there, always positive. Please welcome, with a round of applause, Ms. Mary Ann Schultz on the stage. We will start our session today, but before we do that, I would request Dr. Mathur to speak a few words about Shada and also about leadership. You can sit there, please.
It's a great honor and pleasure to be here this morning for a session on Leadership Summit. I have reached a stage where I am on the inside of the life, but I still love to be a leader. Wherever I go, I love to be a leader, and I like this particular session more so because we are finding all youngsters sitting here to become great leaders. It's amazing and very, very impressive. I just was reading your brochures, and your aims and objectives are excellent. I am sure in whatever capacity I can help personally, and our institution, Shada Institute of Medical Sciences, I am the dean of this college, and you know, this family is such a great family who has been serving mankind from years together. They have got 58 institutions in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, Telangana state, and you find they have covered the entire city of Hyderabad, where they have got institutions from KG to PG level. So many institutions, so many students are being benefited, and more so the minority class, you can see them coming up so well, very well educated students, and we are beautiful boys and girls, and we are giving to the society not only doctors, engineers, and other faculties, but we are developing them all round. This family is concentrating on the all-round development of the students, so that when they go out into the society, they will be doing human service. You know how to live and adjust in the societies. That part I really like, and they are lovable, they are likable, and we love to work in this institute that you have written. It is powered. So definitely these are the powerful group in Hyderabad who are doing human service to mankind, and you are sure it will be a permanent so-called relationship. I always tell my students that once you come into the Shadan family, you become, or you marry this family, so you have to have this relationship permanently. So I, on behalf of Shadan Institute of Medical Sciences, more particularly Dr. Sari Rasul Khan, a young, dynamic boy, is always ready to work, ready to come out and help. He's a large-hearted person, very lovable, very likable, like their father, who was our contemporary, Dr. Wizarat Rasul Khan. He is no more, but he had good ambition, good aims, and he has developed this institution and this family so well. And all their aims, his aims, are being fulfilled by these children, wife and 4 children. They are doing very well. They are, I'm sure, they will come up very well, and they will be continuing to help this summit as long as this summit continues. And I was also thinking when people have said, do I get any chance later on?
Yes, you will get later on.
Right. Oh, sorry. Well, I have taken a lot of time, sorry. So, thank you very much.
Medical colleges and over 100 colleges, they are right now coaching about giving education to 10,000 students, which is just amazing, the work they are doing. A lot of people don't know about Shahjahan Group. And apart from that, every month they contribute lakhs of rupees for free, absolutely free treatment for anybody who likes to get treatment in their hospital. So that is just amazing, and I think you should visit Shahjahan Group. And if you get a chance to meet Dr. Sarid Rasul Khan, the wonderful person, very down to earth, and their whole delegation will be here, so we'll be interacting with them. And I would request Moshni to speak for 2 minutes on leadership. We'll have more interaction. This is it.
Very good morning to all of you, and it's really a big honor to be here and a part of this very, very eminent panel and to be with all of you. As usual, Zia has put me in a spot, and he hands me the mic because we're such good friends and says, speak. So I'm going to try and make sense, and you can, and you please, let's make it interactive, and I would love to have some, people weighing in on this rather than just making it a monologue. Now, while we were waiting for all of you to join us, I was sitting at a table with some amazing people, and we started talking. And the discussion was about leadership and what is leadership. The definition of leadership is something that we thought we'd spend some time over. So, what is leadership as we know it? Any inputs? Just a quick one. What is leadership as we understand it?
Quality to lead a group of people.
Quality to lead a group of people. What is it to lead a group of people? Do you take all the decisions, or is it a collective choice? Do you let them, do you leave them to do what they want on their own, or are you around? There are a lot of questions that came up while we were discussing leadership. And we decided that we would spend some time understanding what leadership means to us. And together we came up with a definition which I'm going to share with you. And do tell me if it makes sense. So, through our discussions, we understood that leadership is not just a set of competencies that are present in people who are chosen to lead a group of people. Leadership is actually a natural state of being. You are a leader wherever you are, in whatever circumstances you are. You do not always necessarily need a group of people to lead. You are even leading yourself. So, do you really need the environment to lead? Not really. And that is what I heard Dean say, that he loves being a leader wherever he is. And look at how beautifully he took the lead right now. So, a leader and leadership skills need to become a natural state of being. It is not, if I have this, then I will be, feel, or show my leadership skills. Leadership and leaders are always amongst us, and are there within us. A lot of times, and in today's day and age, we tweak just the competencies and we leave out the person, the being of the person. Today, through the day, we would like to talk a little bit more about the human aspect of leadership. And let's not just do quick fixes to just tweak those behaviors which we need to increase performance and productivity. So with that, I'd like to hand it back to Zia, and you can take us forward from there. Thank you.
Request Dr. Kalyan Chakravarti to speak for 2 minutes because we're going to talk a lot later. All right. Shall I get the mic?
Esteemed colleagues on the dais and colleagues, those who are sitting over here. Thank you. At the outset, I appreciate Sal's Touching Hearts Foundation. Actually, my heartbeat increased since yesterday when Zia and Lakshmi told me 10 o'clock we should be here. So 7 o'clock I get down at the airport and thanks to traffic today is less, so the Vice President is on the visit via that area. Anyway, leadership, it's a very interesting topic, but I often wonder where does this leadership start? At home, at school, at the university, in the society, in the politics? I don't know. Anyway, we'll be soon finding the answers from this vibrant crowd. But I just remember one famous B-school student, Steve, right now. In the objectives column on the CV, a professional MBA graduate has written, to grab a challenging role in a vibrating industry. That's it. That's where I started thinking of leadership actually. These guys who are finishing their engineering, their medicine, their MBA, come with a lot of expectations into the industry, but the CV speaks volumes. So people are talking about trainings, a lot of agenda is there, very impressive statistics. I have gone through the white paper on leadership and saw touching heart. You guys are really touching the hearts. But if there are human beings who have very good heart and mind, I think our role begins there, to train them into potential leaders in this 21st century. Anyways, I think a home is the first school for anybody, and mother is the first teacher. Am I right? So I think she is the leader to me because she teaches the first lesson. Then you go to school, your teachers become leaders, then you join a company, your boss becomes a leader. But still these questions always lurk in my mind. Who is the leader and what is the team? When we come to the panel discussion, I would like to answer these two questions because we always think that leader is leading. The person who leads actually is the leader. We watch a famous movie like Avatar. Who is the leader behind that? Is he behind or forward? Yeah. So again, there's a question, research question. Where is the leader's position, back or front? So that's where the entire ballgame starts. So let's move on. Thank you for the opportunity. And directly coming from Oman, and I'm still trying to catch up with the speed of you here. Thank you so much.
He gives talks all over the world. He's been to almost 30 countries, and he's just flying in. So that shows his, I think, commitment that he landed at 8 o'clock and he's coming straight from airport to our place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have two organizations who have supported us today. It's Shadam Group and also Association of British Scholars. The General Secretary is here. We have an office in British Council. I'd like him to come and speak for 2 minutes about ABS, and then we'll start the session.
For all the delegates on stage and all the friends in the room. I take the opportunity to explain what is ABS. ABS is Association of British Scholars. It's a forum in Hyderabad which would help to facilitate networking between the members who's trained or studied in UK, who've come back and used their expertise, learned acquaintance in their own profession. So we've been doing quite a few events and through the course of the year. So we've done a lot on Women's Day and a lot of soft skill training. And we've been doing, and there's another new event we've been proposing and we've been working on is the Indo-British Business Summit, which is scheduled to be held on the end of June. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the day, and I congratulate SARS Foundation to doing such a great job. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We'll go straight to our panel discussion. We'll have Mary's speech later on, but before we start, I request SARS Foundation founder and managing director to present a flower bouquet to Mary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Organization. And they have done a lot of research, and if you read their white paper, there's a lot of intellectuals behind their organization. And if you want to bring a change, somebody is in need, they say, you can help a guy by giving a fish for one day, but if you really want to help him, then teach him how to fish. They can fish every day. So this organization is not about giving blankets or tangible products to people. We should only help them for a short while. But this organization is focused on a long-term strategic change in an individual and also in a particular geographic area. They would not like to go around haphazard doing work. So they are selecting particular geographic area, focusing on what are the needs for change in that place, working on knowledge enhancement, because knowledge is everything. One of the things they told me is that why is that Japan, after World War II, had 2 cities completely exterminated. And why is Japan right now, one of the most developed nations? And again, if you see Germany, it's the same thing. So our nation, we have to be really proud. We have a huge history of 10,000 years, but there is a lot of scope for change. Very interesting, listening to Shashi Tharoor. He gave a very nice speech, and he was giving statistics about India was the world leading economy, and the share was 23% of the world economy before the British came in. And after British left, Indian share was 2 point something, and British share was more than 20%. Should we follow the Western civilization in everything we do, or what is there we are lacking? What strategies do we need, and how can we make sure that there is no child begging on the street, everybody gets the health care they deserve, and our country gets the best of services in whatever we're doing. And that can only happen when there is a change in attitude of the general people, so that there is a change in attitude of the leadership. So I think what they have come up is something really fantastic. Now, coming to the first panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen, there was a lady. She was traveling in a train, and a guy looked towards her and he said, "You are wearing your wedding ring in the wrong finger." So she looked towards him and she said, "Because I married the wrong guy." The decisions you take in your life either make you or break you. So decision is something really important. And I think we have some wonderful people here who will help us to make decisions in life and how we should go about both in professional and personal life, how to be a leader. So the first session what we are having is something really important. This session is about skills. Without skills, there are a lot of people you will meet who are, you can say, successful. You meet a guy who's a billionaire, but he's at the right time, right place. Started some business, he got lucky, he made a lot of money. And then, as a consultant, you meet a lot of people. When there is a crisis, they cannot manage because they are lucky. They don't have knowledge, they don't have skills. And there is a word for them in French called nouveau riche. Because these are the people, when they start getting successful, the first thing they will go on is spend money buying Rolex watches and expensive cars. There's no strategy behind them. And then something really important is skills in our country. 80% of engineers are unemployable. And that's just amazing, you know. And then there's a lot of scope because a lot of people don't get jobs. They're not getting promoted because of the skill deficiency. We're going to discuss about that. And we have a wonderful panel for it. Now, first of all, I'd like to invite a very eminent academic. She has done, she's double masters from United Kingdom, a very popular speaker, and she is again, a well-known academic. I request Professor Lakshmi to please come and take a seat on the stage. Please give a round of applause to Professor Lakshmi. I was introduced to the gentleman in the morning. I've heard a lot about him from Zahabia and other people also, but he's a coach, he's a speaker, very well-known person. I request Mr. Archie Makeja to please come and take a seat on the stage. Please give a round of applause. Watch me to please come and take a seat on the stage. Very good. All right. So we'll start the session. I'll give the mic to Professor Lakshmi, and I think she will take forward from here. You can sit there.
Good leaders develop ideas, great leaders develop people, the best leaders develop new leaders, for true leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lakshmi Ripani, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the first panel of the Leadership Summit 2018. The theme for the first panel for today is skills to become effective leaders, and I will be moderating this panel. The focus here is to provide a platform for synergetic interaction among the top leaders from various social and the business sectors who are here to share their experiences and innovative strategies for the development of leadership skills to create leaders. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. We sincerely hope that the ideas and views shared during this interaction will foster new innovations, letting one see the full circle of the rainbow. I am now going to turn over the floor over to our panelists. I know we have been anxiously waiting for it for quite some time. Dear members of the panel, it is said that if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Each of you has a very demanding career, and that are evident, the invisible gaps and how they can be filled, and of course, the future scope. So, we begin with Mr. Archie Makeja. It is said that the best leaders simply have brains that are wired differently to the most. This nullifies the statement that skills can be taught. So, a very simple question with not such a simple answer. Are great leaders born or made?
A tricky one, but I would say neither born, neither made. But it's based on my experience. It's all about attitude and the behavior that they carry. Let me start with an example of Citigroup. The objective of hiring in Citigroup is to find a better person than what they already have. So if they are hiring, let's say, a project manager, their hiring objective is to find a better project manager than the person who's actually interviewed, right? So if you look at the current the normal scenario, when a person is interviewing, there is a little bit ego that goes on. But here the objective is to find somebody else, a better person than the existing project managers that they have.
Okay.
So isn't that all about leading?
Okay.
Right? So it's all about behavior, it's all about attitude. I have been to a restaurant on Mother's Day, recently opened. The waiters were serving, and now this is a waiter, okay? I'm not talking about a big MNC company. A waiter is serving. There are number of families or guests or who have arrived there, and they are falling short of people who are serving. So this person actually comes up, takes the initiative, and starts serving. At the end when I was going, I asked, why did you actually come when you were already serving? right? So he's actually taken that lead to ensure that everybody who's present there is served, right? Yesterday I was watching news, and this kid from Canada who's 12 years old takes up the challenge of removing landfills of styrofoam by innovating and understanding the technology as to how that's being used. So, is it made or is it born? Or is it just the attitude?
So you're born to be made a leader.
How do we want to put it? I hope I answered your question.
Well, that right. Sort of. Yes, we will be following up with that. Huh?
Sure.
Right. Dr. Kalyanji, leadership is a challenge to be something more than the average, to follow up on what Mr. Anshu said. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing leaders today?
Leaders today.
The biggest challenge.
I think biggest challenge for the leaders today is to understand the grassroots level. I think your organization, SARS Foundation and all that, SARS Foundation, you are identifying some rural areas, as far as I understand it, it's big time, and from grassroots level they are trying. I think every leader needs to understand his team first, and from the lowest level of the person. I mean, when you look at the person, I'm talking about skills, attitude, and knowledge. People say KAS or SAT or ASK, that's a perennial discussion. But as the first speaker was saying, attitude first. But before understanding all these things, I think we have to go back to ancient leadership styles and look at the modern challenges, then try to take up the blame. Suppose, so let us quickly list out 2-3 famous persons in the history. Take these 3 fellows and one negative character like Adolf Hitler also. Just as a case study. Now these are the famous leaders. But we have forgotten who made them leaders. For example, Chandragupta, his teacher was Kautilya. So if this person is the leader, who was that person who made him a leader? And he was an insulted, rejected, dejected teacher in the society. And he challenges, today you have insulted a teacher, a king insults actually. I will create a mightier leader than you, and mightier kingdom than yours, and show you what is the power of a teacher. Who is the leader? I have already raised 2 questions. Who is the leader? Then comes what's the leader. Look at Shivaji. Who made Shivaji actually? Not his soldiers, not his kingdom, his mother. Every day she used to tell him one story of a hero. Then he became something. Look at Hitler even. Who made him that leader? Any idea who made? What made actually?
What made him? That is
His school, his childhood. He was humiliated like anything. He was bullied at school. Look at his psychological development attitude we are talking about. And that grudge. He was a weak, puny child in school and everybody was bullying, hitting him, blah, blah, blah. So that grudge to do something and he is unable to. Imagine the situation. It's a case study for psychologists. Then to show that power, he became whatever he is called so far. I don't know what to call also, because when you go back to the psychology, it's different. Then Alexander the Great, people say. Who made him? Who made Alexander? Any idea? There is a person behind him. Aristotle.
his mother.
Maybe mother also, but Aristotle, his teacher. Plato, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Alexander. That is a chain. And every day before going for the war, he used to read a book called Homer's Iliad, if I am not wrong. So the book made him. And the book is given by Aristotle, the teacher. So to understand leadership, we have to go back to the very grassroots of so many types of leadership, like laissez-faire, autocratic, democratic, management books. I don't know much, many things about management. From there to the modern needs, whether it is a political leader or home leader, I don't know what type of leaders, then we should understand.
Okay, so you see the biggest challenge today is mainly first is acceptance, follow
Understanding the
understanding,
people.
acceptance,
Then their acceptance
and
also.
then the acceptance. But to follow part, who are the two parties involved in the leadership process?
Good question.
That's true.
Two parties, as we all know. The condition is to be a leader, we need to have two parties. The first one, the leader himself. The second, the follower. Very simple. Now when I talk about the two parties, now here, the leader and the follower, there are sense of responsibilities and sense of belongingness. Then the sense of gratitude, which is put forward and what is made a fantastic bonding relationship. Thank you.
Okay, so it's the leader and the follower.
Yes, true.
Okay, the two parties. And does everyone want to be a leader? What if the follower also wants to be the leader?
Definitely. Follower, yes,
what must
definitely.
be done?
Great. Now, here, every follower would love to train to become a leader because he has his own role model whom he is following. For that, there are certain skill sets you need to acquire, the process. It's not only taking the skills, but also showing the skills at the right time, at the right place, for the right purpose. That's very important.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
To be inspired and Superwoman workshops. So please tell us, how does one develop a leadership brand and what are the challenges you faced during this?
Thanks so much for that, Lakshmi. Leadership brand. Now, leadership brand is essentially something which is outward focused. When we talk about developing a brand, it is not necessarily from your innate strength, but it is about your deliverables. So when, I'll tell you a little story, if I might, about how my signature programs came about. My signature programs are in the diversity and inclusion area, and they are called Bold, Propel, and Superwoman. My story begins with Bold. At that point, I was going through the most difficult phase of my life. My husband was fighting for his life. I was not ready to kind of, take on all the responsibilities and lose him, and you can understand the mind and the headspace that I was in. I also had the responsibility of trying to fill his shoes and live his brand, my brand, and several other brands alongside. So at that point, the only thing that came to me was to be bold. What is it that I have to deliver? I have to be that leader who goes out there, delivers on checks the deliverables for maybe the next 6 months, matches skills to what is required for that particular role, and live it. Bold came about as a program that essentially talked about believing in yourself, openly expressing yourself, loving yourself first, and not stopping. Don't stop until you drop. It became an extension of me. So a leadership brand is also about living it. So when we develop a brand and we develop a leadership brand, we look at the stakeholders, we look at the customers, we look at who we are, and we do that match. Did I have the requisite skills, competencies, and strengths? Yes, I did. But what were my deliverables? I was looking to walk the talk and create a brand people would identify with, and my purpose was to empower women and be that role model for them. So in terms of matching my competencies to my brand, did I do that with Bold? I think I did, because we've touched about 1,000 lives on a regular basis. So a leadership brand has to be in sync with who you are, has to be matched to your deliverables, and you have to live it, and you have to keep testing it on a regular basis. So that's it about me.
And you did match the deliverables.
Thank you.
That's very good. This with specific reference to your work in the hospitality industry. Despite all this, there is a non-challenge towards soft skills for leadership in the industry. And so what do you think needs to be done to change this?
Yes. Soft skills, when we talk about industries like healthcare, I am associated with healthcare for the past 6 years earlier, to which I was into automobile and education. So in education industry, till today, of course, we focus on engineering or management education, but we focus only 20% or 10% on soft skills. And when the hiring happens, it happens for the behavior and not for the skill, for the knowledge, because knowledge and skill can be developed at a later stage. Even that is the case with all the industries. Presently, to answer Lakshmi's question, in healthcare, earlier, if you look at the entire history of healthcare, starting about 50 years, earlier it started as small nursing or something that we would call it as a hospice, where people would just go for some treatment. So there was never a thought of service. It is a person comes, gets treated, goes home. Right? It was like we used to have Hakims and the Ayurvedic centers earlier. Then later, hospitals started sometime in 1925-30, and hospital industry started. In the last 30 years, if you look, there were several hospitals and healthcare sectors which came into India. Corporate hospitals, they called themselves corporate hospitals, but their focus was only on two things. One is on technology, and the other was on medical care. There was never a focus on customer service or patient service. Where all this changed is when medical tourism started. When people from other countries started coming to India for cheaper treatment, the international hospitals set up their shops in India to give service to their patients coming from other countries. Right? There are several bigger groups who are coming to India and setting up shops. And that is where the Indian hospital industry realized that customer service or patient service is very, very important. And that is where soft skills trainers step in to bring that change into the hospital industry. For 30 years, 40 years of mindset, changing the culture of a proprietorship-driven industry where your Sethji or your Lalaji gives you all the orders. The Sethji might be a doctor, but he's the one guy giving all the orders from the top. What has not changed till today is the top-down approach of management. Still, it is one person giving all the orders and signing every document. And this change is there as it is. The first thing that we need to do is, at the leadership level, bring that change to decentralize the power and make leaders below them who can be empowered to take more decisions. The cultural change in any organization will drive the business. As they say, there's a very famous quote which says, culture eats strategy at breakfast. No matter how great your strategy is, ultimately if you don't have the right culture to drive the business, then it is not going to happen. So it's a very hard task that I've been undergoing, is grueling task to bring that change and bring that customer service. So soft skills, people say very essential, people say it's very important, but trust me, it's not as easy. One session, one program, one training will not bring the behavioral change. It's over a period, over a duration that you keep on consistently hammering the skills and over a period that behavioral change will come. And this is where the healthcare industry is especially suffering now. It requires a lot of effort because 30 years of damage cannot be corrected overnight or over a period. It will take a lot of time. And this is where not only healthcare but several other Indian industries are suffering. We saw a classic case of Videocon now bankrupt. Earlier they went bankrupt earlier also. Several such things keep happening to the Indian industry. As Zia had rightly pointed out that one man starts a business, he gets lucky, gets all the money, one fine day he realizes that business is collapsing. And that is what is happening with Indian industries. And that's where the role of soft skills and behavioral trainer becomes very important. Lakshmi,
thank you. Yes. You were very you brought about the point innovations in technology. And yes, so we need to move from the fear-based to the purpose-based leadership. That's what we were discussing. And yeah, it has not changed, and we need to completely bring about a change from the top-based, the approach of the management, decentralize the power. So moving on to the same thing, Barkat, what skill gap do you see in today's workplace? Could you name the top 3 skill shortages we have today in the new inductees?
True. Yes, let me start from the grassroots, as Sir was mentioning. Let me start from the schools, then the business schools, then the corporate life. We need to be very clear about the 2 basic skills. Number 1, the basic competencies and the communication skills. There is a differentiating factor of basic competencies and communication skills. When I talk about basic competencies, because people perceive differently, I'll give an example. A school student of grade 5 just reads a book, an English book. Teacher says, oh, he is fantastic in English language communication. He just reads. And same happens at home. When a child just reads the textbook, the English language, parent says, my child is excellent in English language communication. Is that true? The child is only reading. Because we have never understood there is a difference between basic competencies and communication skills. With this dangerous perception, the child grows, completes the academics, completes the graduation, completes the medical, completes the engineering. I'm talking about the Indian market. We are academically absolutely strong, 80%, 90%. What about communication skills? When you go for the interview round and the HR will ask, walk me through your profile. This guy will be, walk me through your profile. He's not able to explain what he learned. Why? Because we never understood there is a difference between the basic competencies and communication skills. Let me give a brief on this. The basic competencies are 3. Read, write, and compute or calculate. That is the reason most of the companies are taking aptitude tests. Why? Because they want to test your analytical capability, your reasoning power, your speed, your accuracy. These are basic competencies. Next, coming to communication skills. We all know that a good listener is a good speaker. Again, communication 3 level. Level 1 is listen. You need to have the patience. There's a famous saying, if you don't have patience, you become patient. It's true. We don't have patience. We just want to start talking. It's not possible. You need to listen first. Give ears to others. Listen attentively. Understand what exactly it is. Then you can convey the message in a beautiful way. It's listen, speak, and present. Presentation is totally next level with beautiful body language, hand gestures, and eye contact. So these are the skill gaps which are very, very mandatory now to address very seriously if you really want to develop the leadership skills.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Dr. Kalyan, so moving on to this, what are employers and educators doing today to close the skill gap?
It's a big question. Do you have 1 hour? Okay, I'll try to just see.
Please.
What are the educators doing?
Yes.
My goodness.
I think that's more in terms of your management, and that's your focus area, right?
So after teaching these MBAs, BBAs, all these guys from rural, semi-urban and metro city students, I really wonder from where to where. Because as I was talking about schools, at schools what are the major subjects? Maths, physics, chemistry, and 3 languages. If it is Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, you have Telugu, Hindi, English. So some language skills, some science, something. And I visited some rural schools. I think Mary is here. I think she can also just go and visit some rural schools. Mathematics teachers call the boys who are playing on the ground. Boys, come here. No other work you have? Only football? Only cricket? No sir, half an hour. Learn mathematics, yeah. Mathematics is something for your life. Okay sir, so stop the game, come. They will sit, learn the mathematics. And again in that gap, they go and try to play something. Okay? Then science teacher comes. No other work. Science is everything in the world. Look at the spaceship. You don't know sir, what is spaceship? Come into the lab, I will teach you. Why? We are wasting time. And where is the ground for city boys? There is no ground at all. They play on the terrace or in the parking lots. So that physical education is gone. So maths teacher is pulling the guys towards maths, science teacher is successfully pulling here, and parents are saying something, teachers are saying. So we have successfully created a pressure cooker for our students in the mind.
The confusion for a child.
That's how they are doing. And without their knowledge, they are landing in intermediate, and again pressure cooker starts. So many names under different nomenclature, different pressure cookers. I heard Prestige is a very good pressure cooker. And what pressure cooker has come now? Silent cooker. What is that? Slow cooker. Oh my goodness. That is another process. What is it? Package. 3 months course. Long-term coaching. Parents come. See, we are expecting a baby next month. Can we join the baby in the school? Why? I want IIT, IIM. So from childhood, if I train my child, they can become IITs and IIMs. And to which IIM Dhirubhai Ambani has gone, I don't know.
So you say the educators are going into the slow cooker and the employers for the pressure cooker?
We are the culprits actually.
Yeah,
Educators,
where is
parents,
what are, yeah.
everyone. I am not blaming a single person.
What are we doing?
We have grown an ecosystem where the child is struggling, where to go. And we have given them cell phone, iPhone, what is that? So many names. And they are lost. Your communication. It goes, where is the communication? Even we are sitting around and looking at whether WhatsApp message came for me or Facebook somebody tagged to me. So mind is there. So is there a standard curriculum or an education, ideal education system where the child is going freely, like that Rabindranath Tagore's poem, where the mind is without fear? Are we creating that environment? Okay, intermediate has gone somehow. I don't know where it will go. Sunday, I look at the corporate MSET, law set, set, whatever set is there, those coaching centers. Children are like in the jail, they are inside from there. And parents are standing out, and there is a big gate closed. Papa, daddy, they are waiting. I have given chocolate for you better. Then somebody walks in, supervisor or somebody. Time is over, sir. Exactly like a jail. Time is over, sir. Now you go. Sunday, I want to see the film. No, they have study hours, my God. When is the last study hour is ending, Night 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. When is the child sleep? Intermediate is gone. Hang on, actually there is good question you have asked, so it is useful for all, I think. That's why I'm trying to just activate some people, because we don't know. Somebody will take the lead. Okay?
We do hope so, yes.
Graduation.
Someone to take the lead.
Yeah. Graduation. What are the major popular graduations here in India? For our country, I don't know, US and UK, they are a little bit dynamic and market-driven courses, something are being designed. But here I don't know. What my grandfather studied, my father studied, and his books only I studied, and I got my BA, MA, whatever, PhD, nothing.
We are more dynamic by, I don't know, the number of courses that has sprouted up.
Okay, famous courses are science. You are BSc or BSc, BCom, BE.
Yeah.
So either you become an engineer or you become a doctor, and no other profession is existing in the world. Sachin Tendulkar useless है वो profession ही नहीं. And I know some lady taxi drivers, वो profession ही नहीं है. कुछ नहीं मिला तो उसमें गया. And I know some teachers also. Sorry to say, nothing else to do, sir. I'm teaching. Really? Is it a profession or just like that you take it? Okay, graduation be okay. Post graduation. What do you have? Whatever you studied, guys, up to graduation, forget. MSc Mathematics, Scholarship, all this is gone to the dustbin. Then MSc Physics, whatever. Then you have MBA. Some corporate guy was joking with me, sir, you know what is MBA? Mal bech ke aap. Am I right? Corporates? I don't know. I never worked in the corporate. I don't know I was lucky or unlucky. I have never worked in the corporate, but all corporate guys are my friends. Then somebody else said, sir, there is another category. Mine bhi aaya, MBA. Mine bhi aaya. ये माल बेच के आने वाला कैटेगरी जो है ना, वो कहीं नहीं जिएगा. चारमीनार को दिल्ली में भेज देगा और कुतुब मीनार को चारमीनार के बाजू में भेज देगा. I don't know what strategy. I'm a layman in that time. So ये category भी है. You decide, sir. So which popular peaceful, I don't know. Whether name is there or not, I don't know. So MBA. Now slowly it is coming down. What happened in engineering, madam? Thanks to that free education, the previous government, if you study engineering, they will give you money. Finish. In every poultry farm, there was a engineering college. Look at Tamil Nadu. Every 3 kilometers, you have an engineering college. What are these engineering guys doing? If they were lucky, they got a very rich father-in-law, they went to US or UK for MS. And they got a green card holder, they got married, and they became successful. Green card is a great thing. Yeah, I agree. With no offenses. Okay. Bachao engineer ki dakha. I heard recently 30,000 applications came for constable jobs, and most of them were Indian. Look at it. So you are asking what are the educators doing, who is spoiling, what is happening. I really trying to discover. My recent research has been that which profession is good, because parents ask me, corporates ask, sir, give me some 5 live wire. Like Vivekananda said, give me some young man with steel now, gigantic willpower, I'll change the world. There was also very mental. वो स्टील नर्व्स किधर गए? हॉस्पिटल में ढूंढना पड़ेगा. सर आपको मिले तो बताना. Iron muscles, I don't know. That iron willpower also I don't know. All these are ingredients of necessary ingredients of leadership, I think. So education system, I don't know whether it has given something, but certainly it has taken away something. As an educator who have been spoiling many generations so far with my frivolous lectures, I'm telling you. Some have become successful. I don't have regrets, because somebody calls from Japan, sir, after MBA I came to Japan. Why? Something else, not doing MBA, something else. Engineers also, you look around, every marketing fellow, there will be a hidden engineer in the marketing fellows. They have some scientific knowledge, but they have to do poor marketing job. I don't know whether I can call it poor also in front of experts like you. So from where to where, madam? Now again, see, there is no single university, for your information, Mary, in India, as far as I have wandered. I went to Chennai, I went to Dehradun, I stationed there for 1 month, I trained people, then I went to Lucknow, blah blah. Nowhere, in no university I have found a course in soft skills, I mean full-fledged course. MA Hindi milega, MA Marathi milega, MA Telugu milega. These are the things, guys, we have to take up on this podium. I think we have got this immediate need for addressing these things. When the industry, as you said, there is a growing demand for skills trainers, where is the certification authority? I think you have a great work in India, madam. I don't know whether, maybe UK and US you have some specific degrees, like I found professor of leadership. यहाँ प्रोफेसर तो लीडरशिप क्या है? तुम दुनिया का कौन सा सब्जेक्ट मैं पढ़ा दूंगा? क्योंकि my institution needs it.
Thank you, I know.
So big subject, madam.
It is, and it's a never-ending. The struggle is on. Moshmi, would you like to add on to that?
I need some.
Oh yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Kalyan. Very, very interesting perspective. Very true. That's the current reality. Having said that, what can we do to make it better? Right? That is the stark reality. And that's a great place to begin. So I'm going to bring in the corporate perspective, because that's the area that I work in. Today, the challenges that most corporates are facing are in terms of disengagement. Okay? Employees are not engaged. They work in silos. They essentially you just go through the paces of work without really enjoying it. So when we researched a little bit more in the subject, what we came up with was the fact that there is indeed something called workplace spirituality. Not two words that we would normally, take in the same breath, but yes, it exists. What are people looking for today? Employees, all of us professionals who are out there. We all have an inner life. We have certain expectations from our own self. So at our workplace, and whatever that might be, we look for a sense of purpose. We look for connectedness to the environment that we work in, and over and above everything else, we look for belongingness in terms of serving the community. Today, we can't just work, because we have evolved as human beings, just as go out there, do the work, and come back home. Because that is where the entire disengagement is coming in. So, as trainers and facilitators and coaches, that's the area we began working at. So, I talked to you about leadership brand, which brings in your distinctness and identity. The next aspect we work on is executive presence. That what is it that we are looking for in terms of leaders and leadership, and even the followers? What is it that the followers look for, and what is it as leaders one need to really bring to the table in order to address this entire problem? Tell me, are there certain people who, when they walk into the room, just grab your attention and you want to just go out there and meet them? There is that aura that they have. There is that presence, the wow factor. Have you experienced that?
Yes.
Right? Those are the people we gravitate towards. So, gravitas is an extremely important aspect of executive presence. And what is gravitas? Put very simply, dignity, solemnity, seriousness, which comes with good communication. When some leaders speak, you just want to hold on to every word that they are speaking. They cast this spell. You listen. You actually, you're so engaged in whatever that they are saying. And that is a very, very important aspect of gravitas. Their integrity just seeps out of every core of their body. You just want to be a part of that circle. The next is communication. Barkat brought that up already. Enough cannot be said about communication. Okay? And communication is not only about the words that we speak. Only 7% importance can be given to the words that we speak. 93% is out of our awareness. Communication includes rapport. So are you building that rapport with your people? Because in order to lead, your followers need to believe in you. Great leaders need to make you feel safe. And that is something that we really need to address. Are you making your followers feel safe? Are they part of your golden circle? Do you eat first or do they eat first? In the Marines, there is a particular, the rule that they follow is that the leaders eat last. The rookie, the newest guy, the youngest of the team eats first. How beautiful is that? And sometimes there's no food left for the leader and they come and give them a part of their food. Now that's leadership. That's executive presence. And that's the kind of leader we want and we choose to be. Last but not the least, a very important aspect of leadership is also appearance. Yes, clothes do not make us, but yeah, they kind of help the cause, don't they? Right? You do not really want to be led by somebody who's, who doesn't really fit into your image of leadership. As shallow as that sounds, it's an inevitable fact. Yeah, I did power dress for today. It was important.
Yes.
So that is what I'm talking about in terms of appearance. So when you sum up executive presence, and we look at gravitas, we look at communication, and we look at appearance, they holistically can be looked at and talked about as the component
that we have right now. I'll tell you two things that one is a past experience and one is something I'm currently dealing with. Okay. You are becoming an engineer, full stop. Clear vision. And I was writing poems and stories as early as 5th, 6th standard, high school. My mother wanted to say, you become a teacher or whatever you want to do, you become a creative person. Father said, no, full stop, engineering. Why I did engineering is I was obedient. To the parents, to the teachers, are they really listening? The millennials are not listening either to themselves or they're not listening to what is right. There is no harm in following your heart, but do you know what your heart really wants? Millennials are not, the current generation is not really aware of what they really want, and that is the one prime reason that we are facing this dearth of leadership. Leaders, there are, I'm not saying that people are not becoming leaders, many young people have become leaders, but still the amount of leaders that we need for the growth that is coming down every day, because millennials say, we want our life, we want our freedom. What do you mean by freedom? What is it that you want to do and how do you want to bring value in the society? That is not happening. So this is my perspective connected to my story. I don't know if my soft skills friends will agree with me over here. Just a minute.
Sure, why not?
Okay? Right? Lakshmi is lyric.
No, it's okay.
Will agree with me, but most soft skills trainers, when I came out into this profession, they start doing training for college students, interview skills, group discussions, so on and so forth. Still there, younger people at least. Then we get into corporate and so on and so forth. I did sometime interview skills training some 10-12 years ago. After that, I have never touched the subject. Recently, somebody said, Sajid, I'm not able to find a trainer. I'm meaning to do interview skills training. Will you be able to do it for us? So I said, okay, you're a friend and you're asking for a favor, I'll do it. So I digged into my laptop and got out all the training material that I had. When I was going through that material, I thought, will this material be okay for the millennials? The way they search for professions, find new professions, the way they search for jobs is entirely changed in 10-12 years. We are more technology driven. This particular system of soft skills and how we train people needs a real upgradation where millennials will be able to accept it. And that is what I think so there's a big change. And once they accept the change, leadership will happen. Right?
True.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
We founded our organization Chalk Talk 15 years ago with the sole purpose that professionals will train professionals. And the reason why we started with this purpose or objective is the place where I stay. Close to the place where I stay, about 2 to 3 kilometers away. In just that one location, there are approximately 1,500 computer training centers. Enter any of the institutes. There are about 500 to 600 students in a classroom being taught the same topic, not by professionals. And you have also seen a lot of WhatsApp, videos on YouTube where, the way things are being taught. For the change that we are talking about and the leadership, that needs to be also coming from us, we started going to schools. We started speaking to principals, we started speaking to the directors and started to find out what is the difference between the best of the private schools that we have versus the schools, that are government schools, I would say, the public and the private schools. Communication skills was one of the major areas. So the first participants whom we had were school teachers, irrespective of the trainings that they have been receiving, and we have been with them for the last 8 to 9 months. We go to them on a weekly basis first, then bi-weekly to understand how they are performing. And what is that they are trying to deliver to the students apart from the syllabus that is already assigned to them. Second thing that we did is that we now went to the private colleges. And I'm not talking about two colleges. One is in Hyderabad, the other one is in Punjab, which are said to be one of the best in India. I requested them to show me the hiring that is happening, and the percentage of hiring consistently has been dropping. We've asked what is the primary reason, did you actually get scoring on the reason why they have been failing, and one of the things that comes up on the top is communication skills or soft skills. I said, you already have that as a part of your syllabus. Can we come and help? So we had 2-3 meetings, and finally it was decided that here are the teachers, here is the principal, here is the director, let's start working. We were immediately rejected on that day. For a simple reason that it is already there in the syllabus. Teachers are training, and I'm not blaming the teachers at all, I'm not blaming the syllabus at all. Teachers are already training the syllabus, we don't want anything else to happen. And this happened both in Hyderabad, a different private college, one of the rated, one of the top, a separate college which is based out of Punjab. You were speaking about a lot of postgraduates and graduates actually going and joining, whether they are from marketing or engineering, joining different fields. Vizag has a lot of pharmacy companies. So when we go to these areas, we actually start speaking to the students at what inspiration that they have. Most of these are children of farmers. So we asked, what do you want to become in near future? Some say doctor, some say X, some say Y, but most of them are influenced by the surrounding. So if they have pharmacy companies there, they always say they want to join pharmacy company. Let's say there is a Gujarat. Tata is very famous, so they want to be a part of the locomotive or automobile company. So if that is the case, then we went to those pharmacy companies and said, we will train them, you select them, you hire them. So now, students who have completed the 10th, 11th, 12th, and the graduation is paid by these companies. They train on the specific topics that they want. They get internship in that company, so they actually get the practical knowledge that they require to be on the job. And can you imagine the amount, the average number of years of experience of that candidate in that company? It ranges between 20 to 30 years. So now they've grown from maybe like a junior executive or an executive all the way to managing that unit. So the person who manages the Vizag unit of a pharmacy company started in 11th class with that company as document writer for that role. Coming to the police department, 2017-18 we have trained approximately 18,000 police officers, starting from basics of computers all the way to cyber forensics, cyber crime. You know what was the requirement, the first requirement? Communication skills. Can you imagine AP, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Punjab, Gujarat, communication skills. Second was human sensitization. Because the moment we see a police officer, we are afraid. Scared. The next thing was computers, and thereafter a lot of courses came about. Right? So, in a way, we are also responsible as trainers that if we are not approaching them, in a way we are also responsible. So, my thought in this was that why don't we go and tell them? At the most, what will happen? We face rejection. That is fine with us. Right? So, in a way, that is also one of the ways that we, as trainers or as a foundation, we can also approach these organizations, these institutes, to be able to help them in these areas.
Thank you. Yes, I think communication is the skill that we need to first focus on, and to follow up on this, I also do a lot of these communication programs. But then, even when you have these companies who just have fresh new inductees into it, I find that they're all you have highly qualified people. The technical skills are there, but then the communication is just the base level. Right. And I'm working closely with UNICEF in its education sector for this main aspect. We're working with the urban schools and the rural schools. And if you notice, yes, even in the Anganwadis or the Balwadis where I work with, they are very happy that for them English is, my name is so and so, what's your name, and hello, that part of it. But then the same thing, it's not, even in the urban schools and all, they're not able to translate it. That's exactly what you said. You find this lacunae there even in the urban schools. And I'm working very closely with UNICEF in this, getting this teaching aids where you have the audio visual for the child and the teacher to learn with it. That's in the rural areas. And also I've started up this Reach 300 Million Children, the medium of education. I think it's one of the first in Telangana and Andhra, that is through the Katha Foundation. So I've started it up on my own, and all of you are welcome to join that. Right? To follow up with this now, yeah, Archie, what advice, practical advice would you give someone who is going into a leadership position, or he feels that he or she is going in a leadership position for the first time?
Sure. In the market or in the companies, we have generally seen that senior executive becomes the team lead or the manager, and then they move on to the leadership roles. How I personally see it is
with respect, humor, and technical qualifications uppermost.
Now, for me, it's literally a rhetorical question. Do leaders need to invest in personal growth? As people, we need to constantly, assess where we are and then move to the next level. We cannot be stagnant. So as leaders, which is one of the hats that we choose to wear, of course we need to, invest in personal growth. And that only begins with self-awareness. Like Archie said, you've got to assess where you are and where you'd like to go next. Don't take yourself too seriously as a leader. I keep saying that in all my sessions. What got you here will not get you there. And where is that there that you want to get to? So look inwards first. Assess where you are. In terms of the trainings, in terms of the people that you are surrounding yourself with, yes, you're doing fantastic. But are you just working in your comfort zone? Take some time out, sit down and reflect and understand where you are first. So as a coach, we always ask people to assess where they want to be, set the goal for that, and then assess the current reality. And that is a reality check. You do not want to really ask yourself those questions, because they come up with some very uncomfortable answers. We stir ourselves up. You've got to be truthful somewhere. So either you do that on your own or speak to a coach. Because we all have an aspect of ourselves in terms of potential which is still untapped. So self-awareness is very, very important. The next step, are you only tweaking those behaviors, building on those competencies which pave the outcome for just quick fixes? Okay, need more productivity, let me go out there and do a course which is just specific to that area. Or am I looking at inventiveness? Okay, this is not working, fire this guy and bring somebody else in. What we're looking at is only quick fixes. There is an aspect of us, and most of us as human beings, which is below the water. The iceberg, what we see, is just the tip. The organization performance matrices, or those which are related to ourselves, and we tweak just those. So, in terms of personal growth, the basis of that is awareness. So, how aware are you about your personal requirements? Are you harnessing the intuitive mind? Are you being fiercely authentic? How inspired are you? And when you are inspired, are you relentlessly experimenting and playing? Are you walking the talk? Are you being abundant? Okay. Are you giving, of a bit of yourself to people out there? Are you altering your relationship with adversity? Are you helping others shine? And lastly, are you being of service? Are you committing to a higher cause, and are you syncing individual purpose with the collective purpose? As leaders, if we can just answer these 8 questions, personal growth will come out as an inevitable aspect. So, when the doing is in sync with the being, the individual thrives. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. I think we all need to do the reality check for our self-awareness. And I now leave the floor open to the audience for all your questions. And
I'd like to make a comment. Amazing. And we have a very different problem here in India. And the real problem, the real situation is, on a day-to-day basis, is that Stratford has a campus in India, in Noida. Okay? They have a problem in that they cannot connect with the Indian parents. And the parents say, why would we go to your university when, our son or daughter, they can get into a very prestigious university from India? They say, they don't understand that the value of what we teach. And everything that we teach is what you say you need. But there's a big disconnect, and the parents do not get that disconnect. And so as a result, our Indian campus is doing everything it can to bring the education values here, but the parents are not receptive. So there's a big disconnect. And so what I'd like to do is to say, how can we at Stratford help bridge that? Or how you can help us bridge it, because it is being offered here. We do it every day. People don't understand that we do project-based education. They don't understand that's important, What they do here is think of prestige. We want our child to go to a prestige university, which is great, but is that really the right thing for that child? Are they going to learn the right skills and all these things and the social skills and everything that we're looking at? So I don't know how we can connect and do it, but it is offered. We do it. We definitely do it 110% in the U.S. They get to work in the field while they're in school. They get to work after they're out of school, either for 1 to 3 years. So if there's a way we can open up some dialogue with our own university, I think it would be fantastic.
Two different portions of it. The second one is when you're talking about communication skills, the focus seems to be on oral communication. But I think a critical factor which we are ignoring is written communication skills. Because especially with millennials and who come from very, prestigious, urban schools, they're very good with oral communication. But when it comes to written communication, they do not know how to communicate. So I think that is something, especially from an employability point of view, from a soft skill, I think that's something that we fail to realize. Assuming that technology plays a critical role because everybody works on Word, you have spell checks, you have grammar checks, but children still don't know how to use them effectively. So
parents train, and how about teachers? Then the bridge will happen. Then the parents' expectations can little bit go down. Like his father wanted to make him engineer. My father also tried to victimize me, but I have been smart. I didn't go, and I have been trained by my mother itself, because in the morning assembly, she was our principal. In front of 600 children, she used to come, Kalyan, come here, in my 5th class. You made something. One crash in front of all. So a strong message, communication, is to go, non-verbal, as sir said, that nobody, fellows, there enough to, because my own son I don't spend. Okay? Then evening I used to go to father and complain. What happened? Mother, why? I don't know. Then he used to give one star. So by falling here and there, soft skills we have learned in a very hard way. Very hard. I don't know whether we call it leadership, team building, attitude. The attitude was grown like. How many parents are like that? We used to have teachers who used to come Madam, this is my child. Now, from today, she is your child, or boy is your child. Now, kick him, do anything, but I want one nice Amitabh Bachchan jaisa, Shah Rukh Khan jaisa bana ke de. So, such teachers are not there now. Such parents are also not there. Mother is expecting you become doctor, father is expecting you become engineer, and child doesn't know what to become. Then teacher will say, hey, CA बहुत बढ़िया course है यार. Confusion करके रखती है भाई. And somebody was saying, my fellow professor, sir, if you can clarify, clarify. If you cannot clarify, confuse sir. I don't know. I will leave it here, but further we can take up. But teacher training, student training, parents training. Then your organization will grow. Yeah, that's a great work there. Service to the society. बुला के गलती किया तो नहीं सोच रहे.
I definitely don't have insight like Dr. Kalyan here, but like one thing, sir has a lot of history. He understands educational history a lot. But one thing one thing living in that. Yeah. So one thing that I have read is, sometime in 1835, some delegation, British delegation came to India and said, why Indians are so successful? We don't fight beggars and nobody here. Well, their education system is very strong. To substantiate that, why Dronacharya could have taken Arjun into the classroom and said, this is the parrot, this is the arrow, and this is how you shoot the eye. And then now go and do it. He took them to the place where the parrot was there. It was fake or real, I don't know that at that time. And he just shoot the eye. So it was, the education system in India was practical, was project oriented earlier. But later, the Babu Dom, the colonial rule wanted to create babus for themselves because they cannot get all their clerks from their country. So this Babu Dom business has percolated so deep into our system that all parents and teachers want to make babus out of us. Babus are clerks, which we now have started calling them executives, and then the topmost clerk is the leader. So we have developed a lot of clerks in the society because of this Babu Dom system. And it can be broken down. It can be bridged. As sir said, either we train or retrain our parents. The psychology of education in India has to change. It's not about becoming Babu, it's about becoming innovative, creative, finding a niche for yourself. And that is what will bring the change in the society. That's what I feel.
I'm going to take a minute before I hand it to Ajay, who's reaching out. I work as an enabler of diversity, and diversity is not just about women. Diversity includes the millennials. Diversity includes some parents, me included, who have changed their mindsets. So gone are the days when the parents say, go out there, do that, and gone are the days when the millennials listen to us. Millennials have they have a different model of the world. Okay? They have a different way of viewing, their world view is different from ours. So, as parents today, we are transitioning ourselves. We are learning the new way. And that is not the bad way either. So from a fear-based culture, we are now moving towards purpose and a conscious-based culture. That transition takes time. So let's not beat ourselves up. Let's not beat up the system. Let's not beat up those poor millennials. Let's all work together and be the change. Synergize. Work together. Let's understand what needs to be done instead of being intellectual about it. I think it's time we got off our high horses or low horses and jumped onto that bandwagon of change. And that can only happen when we actually believe in the cause. Right? That's it.
Just want to add to what Mashmi said. My daughter studies in one of the schools at Havels. There was a science exhibition. I went to that science exhibition with my wife and my other kid. Now, when we are talking about the education and the way it is implemented, it has almost been the same, like Doctor pointed out. It's almost been the same till now. It will be the same for the next couple of years too, I assume. 100 years. Another 100 years, it will be the same as what doctor is saying. So when we went to the school, I saw that they pretty much learn the same, the angles, the triangles, the earth, the volcano, everything is the same that we also used to do. They also used to doing the same. Went to one of the stalls where this kid was actually showing water flowing from a thread of the cup which is kept on the top all the way to the down. And the next stall was actually showing how the water is actually climbing up. One is going down versus one is climbing up. So I understand one is because of the gravitational pull, but I asked the kid at the stall that how is the water actually climbing up? It shouldn't climb up, it should actually go down because of the gravitational pull. She said, "Nahi, book mein itna hi hai. This is what the book says." Yeah. Rice is okay. So I asked her this question and I left her at that, because how do I know the answer for it? Because when I was in that science exhibition in my school, when I was a kid, that was one of the projects that was done by my fellow, student in this school. It was all about curiosity. I want to know why the water is going up. Because I always heard about Newton, if I'm not wrong, who says apple gira hai sar pe and then it is gravitation. So I always wanted to know. I left her there and I came out. Now she found out that my daughter studies in that school. 9th class kid found my daughter studying in the kindergarten. She came to her, asked the school class teacher, what is my number? Called me and said, I want to know how that water is climbing up. I did that project. That is what my school book says. How does it go up? Now I'm not able to go to the school again because the science fair is over. So I wrote it and sent it to her. She understood it. So the difference here is, while the education system remains the same, we as educators or parents, and what I tell to my kids is every time you come back from the school, you enjoy. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Ask me 3 new questions every day and spend 15 minutes with me every day, because I will connect them, and I am connecting them to all the media that is available on it. They already have mobiles, they have access to their laptops, so they know how to connect to YouTube, they have downloaded the apps, they learn from them. But 3 new questions every day, 1 new learning from me for 15 minutes every day is what I can as a value add give to the kids. And this is what they do on a daily basis. They understand the practicality of things, how they happen. They may not be aware of, this media may not be available in the school, but can we actually give it to them as one of the possible ways we can actually push them to cross the existing boundaries that they have, or the boundaries that are in the education system.
I think we'll conclude here this panel.
Raise your hands, how many of you, now honestly, write if you want to do some research on any topic or subject. Great. Now why did I ask this question? What do you understand about macro skills? LSRW concept of Cambridge, listening, speaking, reading and writing, put together all the 4, these are macro skills. And what the child is doing in schools and colleges. When a teacher gives an assignment, what we do is, we are technologically sophisticated and highly intellectual. We go home, we access Wi-Fi connections, laptops, desktops, tabs, Google search to hai, sab kuch mil jata hai. And you Google search, and there's a copy paste. We copy paste, make Word documents. It's happening in school, it's happening in colleges.
Now in India, copyright is right to copy.
Yeah, right to copy, good. Now I correct this one here. One incident happened, a lecturer in college, he gave an assignment to a girl and she was very intellectual. She said, I can do that, okay. She went home, she did a lot of research on a topic, engineering topic. It's EDO, Engineering Design Outsourcing. As we all know, the world is about outsourcing. So she did a lot of research on EDO, and she came out with a beautiful presentation of 25-page booklet with beautiful images and everything, standard vocabularies and the phrases. The lecturer was amazed. He said, awesome, it's fantastic. What he said is, okay, I'll keep this, now you explain. The girl was, oh my God. What? He said, the lecturer said, I'll keep this, it's an awesome presentation. I'll give this, now you explain. She cannot. Why? Nothing is here. It's all copy-paste. We are not writing, we are not habituated. Trust me, till today, I have 21 years of experience in training, more than 14 years. If I want to talk about a topic, even this leadership today, I sat, because I have a lot of content in my laptops, it's my treasure. I took some key points. I wrote it down. And this is the paper I can show you if you don't trust me. I wrote, because even if you have loads of experience, or you can talk over any topic for hours, you need to have that basic thing to understand what you're going to talk and what is the impact it can create. Same applies to writing. Even in individual writes, with the handwriting skill, we can understand individual's personality. Now, we don't understand because nobody is writing. I'm very sorry for this. So we need to correct on this. Make them practice, make them write more. Thank you, Zia. Sorry for the time.
I think we'll conclude now, sir. We are running short of time. You have 20 seconds. Time start.
In this August gathering, I would like to propose that there can be master level courses on skill development, soft skills or employability skills. India, America, I don't know. Because there is MA Urdu, MA Hindi, MA Telugu. If MA soft skill, there is.
Very true.
Industry needs, I think Shadan can introduce or Stratford can introduce or Zia can introduce, I don't know. This is a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please stay back. I think you should give a round of applause for their knowledge and their time. I think it's fantastic. I thank all of you. I think Lakshmi, you have done a great job moderating. I gave her very less time, and she's such a meticulous, well-prepared lady. And she kept on asking me, and I said, everything has to be impromptu. And I can see that tension in her, Zia, I'm going to kill you. But I think you have done lovely.
Thank you.
And, I think the dean is clapping, so we should all. And thank you, Barkat, for your very good inputs. And Archie, I think you have done fantastic. Great to meet you here. And Dr. Kalyan, as always, I think you are the guru of soft skills.
Give me 1 hour.
I don't think 1 hour is enough. No. That's only starters. Yeah, that's only hopping on. Washmi, thank you so much. As always, you're lovely. Okay. Sajid, thank you very much for your time. And Sajid is part of Yashoda Group, but he's a very dear friend of mine. And whenever I see him, I'm always upset. I said, Sajid, you should be an entrepreneur. You have so many qualities in you. You're a fantastic guy. And you've done so much good work. And always he says, I want to start a small school. That's his dream. Small dream, but I think that's the thing. This is a guy. We need people like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like all of you to stay here because I'm going to call a gentleman, a very young, dynamic person police officer. Yeah. They're all busy in Karnataka, so don't worry. All right, we have a very young, dynamic entrepreneur. He is heading 3 companies, 4-wheel driven urban oasis. A lot to learn from him. I would request Mr. S.M. Jain to please come here and give a 2-minute speech. I said young and dynamic because he is having those qualities. Give a round of applause for him.
I'd like to thank Zabia for giving me an opportunity to be here today. It was very spontaneous that she just told me a couple of minutes back whether I could speak something on entrepreneurship. I'm really not prepared, though I always keep my day-to-day, minute-to-minute works to be done on a paper, but I'm not prepared as what you have done for today. But I can speak, I can talk a little bit and share with you how I became an entrepreneur. I'm basically a textile technologist, and how I got into the textiles is, those days there were only 2 subjects which we could think of after the schooling. आपको engineer बनना है या doctor बनना है. There was no third option left with us. I prefer to become an engineer, not knowing which engineering field I have to choose from. It was more like a toss for me. I thought of chemical, mechanical, and whatever comes through. But I didn't want to get into medicine. Finally, I got admission in textiles, and I was a professional in textile industry, and this is how, as a professional, I landed up in Hyderabad. But all the time, I had in my mind, and also in my blood, as a businessman, coming from the businessman family, to start a unit of my own. I began with a textile manufacturing small-scale unit, and also parallel, the travels also came to me as a blessing in disguise given by the Almighty, and that's what He thought that I should be destined into the rest of my life. And I'm thankful to Him. And today, we are running the car and the bus rental company in Hyderabad with a fleet of over 350 cars, buses, super bikes to offer on rent. So, it was a long story. It took a little while for us to settle down in this particular business. This was with the support of my wife to begin with, and subsequently my son joined, and today we are one of the biggest car, bus and superbike rentals in India. I'm thankful to the cooperation which Hyderabad in particular is extended to me, and I'm part of Hyderabad, though I belong to Jaipur, Rajasthan, but I'm a Hyderabadi now. It was a big struggle in becoming an entrepreneur, but I never gave it up. I wanted to, at any cost, be an entrepreneur, and it is my wife, who is no more now today with me, but all the time I know it's because of her that I'm standing before all of you today. And I would never forget one thing. I'm just sharing a personal thing before you. It is she who gave me this business. It is her chair which I'm occupying, and not a single day after she passed away that I've sat down on the chair without thanking her. We all need to always recognize the parents, the family members, and all those who have supported us in getting into the business or the career, and all those who have supported us. With these few words, I would like to thank the organizers, particularly Xavier, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
It was wonderful to hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dattatreya is on his way. He will be joining us at 2 p.m. along with Mr. Jayesh Ranjan and Mr. Vijay Nandan Reddy, and also from Shada, we're getting Mr. Sarib Rasul Khan. So we'll have our panel discussion on, post lunch. Before that, we have to do some announcement, and which I would like to request Miss Mary Ann to please come on the stage, and I would also request Ms. Sarah and Ms. Zahabia to also come on the stage, please. We'll have the keynote speech by Ms. Mary post lunch. You guys can sit. Please, Sarah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this knowledge enhancement and leadership development, and we are very much thankful to Mary Ann for not just coming for this event, but something really incredible. Yesterday her flight was delayed, and she could only reach to her hotel at 4 o'clock, and then she's ready at 9 o'clock, waiting for someone to pick her up, no reminders. Hyderabad, you have to remind everybody, alright, and then it's Ramadan, I just woke up, wife is not well, mother-in-law is not well, all in-laws are not well, Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have this, collaboration.
This is time management.
This is time management. And she's so well dressed with all smiles, that's great. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll come to the business. We are here, and there's a big collaboration between SARS and Stanford University. Please give a round of applause. I request Mary to present this to the SARS Foundation, and I think all of you can also be in the picture.
Is the degree given or what? It should be read. We don't know.
This is they are authorized representative of
Stratford
University. And ladies and gentlemen, we will also like to announce that Mary is going to give some scholarship to deserving.
All the best to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Special thanks to Mr. S.M. Jain to have come all the way for us. Ekta Bhal, Hema Balakrishna. Thank you everyone. Thank you Shadan College for being amongst us. And thanks to Stratford University for having faith in us, and we will show how capable we are to take things forward. Thank you, Marianne.
Thanks now.
Yeah. On the SARS, I would like to tell you a little about SARS. SARS Touching Hearts Foundation is still in its infancy. And we are tremendously blessed to have a great team who are dedicated and committed to the future of the foundation. In short period, we have taken a significant milestone that will take SARS as one of the most progressive and innovative not-for-profit organization across the regional areas we target that will be contributing to the development and helpfully an example for the country. SARS aims to impact many lives every day, and our trainers and social workers and supporters are helping us meet future goals with the vision and their determination. We invite you all to please support us in our learning process, and as we move forward to take SARS forward, we want all of you all to contribute to all of us, and a special thanks to my parents who brought me to this position today in my lives. Thank you, all of you.
Present here. Big thanks to SAS Leadership Summit 2018. Talking about financial leadership, I would say something on like to be a good leader. You need to be a good communicator, as we saw in the previous session. So a lot of things get sorted out when the communication goes pretty well within the system, within the ecosystem of the organization, as well as in other places. So a good communicator is actually a very good leader. I believe so. Okay. When we talk about any financial leadership, success and failure depends on a lot of financial calls that a person takes in an organization. So say supposedly when we are in a particular organization, a CFO takes a call on whether we should merge with a particular entity or not. It's a very important call that he needs to take for his employees, for his organization, on every perspective, on a financial aspect. So one call gets this and that and it's gone. So it's very important for the particular person to really take an important decision for his organization. This behavior starts at home. When you start taking financial decisions at your home at a very early stage, that gives you a platform where you can handle your organization at a very proper or elegant way, where you take it in a very good way. So currently I am there with Intense Technology. So Intense Technology, to give us short synopsis on, it's into customer communication management. It serves across Fortune 500 companies across the world. It is present across in 45 plus countries with serving 4 continents, and it is having a leadership across in 70% in market share in telecom sector for the South Asian region. That is what it's into. Okay. So to conclude on a financial leadership, I would say to have that, one needs to lead on an organizational perspective as well as himself, in the sense that they should know what the financial goals are. To have that, they should set across. If you don't have a financial goal, it is very difficult for you or to make somebody understand what your financial goal needs to be. Anybody in the present day, if I take an example, that yes, what is that you really want to earn in your life? A lot of people say that I want to earn a lot of money, but let's quantify it. If it is 100 CR, if it is 50 CR, let's quantify it. If that is done, you're sorted. So there has to be a target. So that's all from my end. Thank you.
Greetings to one and all. Thanks for this opportunity. Very few know me, very less know me, and very few people I know from this team or from the people attending here. I got this opportunity to get myself introduced to all of you. Thank you, Zia, for this opportunity. My name is Rajesh Paul and I represent as an HR for a software solutions company. Apart from that, parallelly, my management is holding 2 engineering colleges. One is Holy Mary Group of Institutions, and the one is Nalanda Group of Institutions in Sakarapalli, Kundur. As we were speaking about the leadership summit today, I would not take much of your time. If any possibility, extend it kindly for 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds. A leader is not there in the frame phase. Leader is not there from the pusher side. Leader is not in between the discussion. For me, leader is the one who encourages us to go forward. I am here because of the leaders who push me from back. It's in multiple numbers according to me. It's a very big subject not to be discussed in these short terms. For me, the stage maker of me are my leaders for me. This is my opinion. I don't know how many of you accept or not. But there are moral encouragement, physical encouragement, financial encouragement, all terms of conditions are there in a leader. And whoever is on this stage, most probably I believe, I am not a leader, but still yet to be, I need to make my name. Once I make my name, I will be in the market not to be introduced by a visiting card, just by my appearances. That I really feel that I became a leader. Thank you.
That was quick. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ramarao, Joint Secretary of Association of British Scholars. This is an organization formed by those who went to UK for training or study purpose. This has been the chapter, ABS chapter, Association of British Scholars, Hyderabad chapter, is working here since last 25 years with a strong membership of 500 people. All these people are from different fields. They are government servants, IAS, IPS, medical practitioners, and public sector managers, lawyers. Different professionals are there in our association. All those who went to UK, either for training or study purpose, are eligible to become members of this association. This ABS is engaged in conducting seminars, short-time seminars in the areas like culture, literature, medicine, climate changes, any subject. Anybody wanting to give any presentation are welcome, for which ABS will associate and address the seminar. We have so far conducted in this tenure of 2 years more than 12 to 15 seminars. Our venue is the British Council in Jubilee Hills. Our committee members, every monthly meetings, will sort out the programs and we are conducting successfully. And so many youngsters are getting benefited in the matter of getting admissions in UK, etc., through our help and guidance. Now, this time we are going to have a big Indo-British Business Summit. We are planning to hold the summit in the month of June. I think June 30th, date is fixed. The intention of that is to connect the industries based in Hyderabad with those in UK, so that they can exchange their interests and they can think of investing in either countries. For which we want to bring a platform to connect all such people, to exchange their ideas, to know each other, to cooperate themselves each other. We are doing this kind of arrangement since long time, and we will do continuously like that. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request the Dean of Shraddha College to please come over here and interact with the audience.
Please don't get bored by seeing me on and on. So, he is Dr. Noor, my colleague. We are from Shahdan Institute of Medical Sciences, a prestigious institute in the Twin Cities, doing excellent job of producing so many medical students, engineering students, and students from various faculties. And this family of Dr. Wizarat Rasul Khan is no more there, but his wife, Shahdan, 10 years, she is the secretary. She and her 4 sons are managing the show beautifully and very successfully. They are producing, as Zia said, I forgot that point. I thought that I should not tell in this audience, but 10,000 engineers and at least not less than 1,000 doctors every year will come out from our institute. So we are producing the best of and the smartest doctors, engineers. They are well marketed. We are producing them, not only giving them qualification, degrees, and producing them as complete human beings ready in the market. Our students' market values are very high. There is one among them. There are 2 girls sitting here. See, they are all beautiful. They are handsome. And so many people come, as I am the dean of the institution. Sir, we want to get our child married. Show us some good boys and girls. So I said, yes, you are welcome. We have not only produced doctors, but we have husbands and wives for you ready. So, dear friends, as somebody said, a leader should have knowledge. A leader should have a good style of presentation. He should always dominate when he is speaking in front of the audience, and a leader will definitely get respect. What she was pointing out, when you will get respect as leader is when you know the subject, when you present it, when you dominate the audience, then you are a leader. And there are so many varieties of leaders. I tell you, in my 45, 47 years of experience as a teacher, I said in the morning only that I was always a leader. I wanted always to be a leader. And I died as a leader only. Not as a political leader, but in my own ways as a leader. So, dear friends, this is about Shahdan I'm going to speak. Though I wanted to speak so many points on the topics which have been discussed, but I think that Mr. Zia is here, doctor. He will become a doctor by the end of this. So Shahdan Institute of Medical Sciences was founded by Dr. Mohammad Wizarat Rasul Khan, who was an eminent public figure, philanthropist, and a great gentleman. He was a leader. He was elected MLA twice in Hyderabad and did yeoman service to the state of Andhra Pradesh at that time and Hyderabad in particular.